So whilst iPhones are known for being fluid and relatively easy to use, a lot of people seem to think that they're fairly limited in terms of features. The truth is, they actually pack in way more than you might think. It's just that Apple makes the features so dang hard to find. Like if you're ever attempting to set an alarm or timer using Siri, well, instead of saying set a timer for 5 minutes, just say 5 minutes and it's done. And now that we've got a timer running, check this out. If I have a timer toggle set up in my quick settings here, I can actually long press that toggle to get this new interface, which I can then use to quickly adjust how much time is left. Or check this out. If I tap here, then add a control, and then start searching for the term background sounds, then tap to add this option here, I can now tap this new toggle to start playing some background ambience. And then if I long press, I get a bunch of sounds that I can switch between. So now I've essentially got a built-in white noise machine on my phone without needing to download a separate app. All right, from there, if we come to our home screen, and let's say you're not really an app library person and you keep every single app installed on your phone somewhere on your home screen, well, instead of having to swipe manually between your pages like this every time, which can be a real drag, you can instead just swipe on the page indicator here and you'll move through your pages at lightning speed. And while we're here, if you're like me, then you know how annoying it can be to have to open up your app store, tap your profile icon, then scroll down to update your apps every time, even if you have automatic updates switched on. Well, instead of going through that process every time, just long press the app store icon, tap on updates, and you'll be taken right there. And back to our home screen for a minute, did you know that you can actually have completely different home screen setups that change automatically depending on what you're doing? So let's say you want this sort of setup to show in the day and then this setup at night. Well, you can set that all up using one of iOS's most underrated features, in my opinion, called focus modes. And if you want an in-depth guide that walks you through how to set this up in detail, then I'll link to that video up in the cards. Oh, and by the way, did you know that you can actually hide this little area down here known as the dock? All you need to do is just long press, then select the icons like so and move them somewhere else. Then the secret to hiding this background element of the dock is to use a wallpaper that contains a special combination of colors that blend into that area, giving the illusion that it's gone. There's a website that contains a pretty large selection of simple yet free hide the dock wallpapers, which I will link to down below. Or if you're liking the look of any of these options on screen right now, well, they actually come from a hide the dock collection within my wallpaper app called Lumina Walls, which I'll also link below. And then I'm sure that lots of you already knew that trick that I just showed where you can grab multiple icons in one go to reposition them all simultaneously. But did you know that you can actually do that exact same thing in other parts of iOS too? So you can do it with files in the Files app or with notes in the Notes app, even with photos in the Gallery app. Pretty much any app that lets you select multiple items in one go will let you use this trick. And now that we're in the Photos app, we may as well address the elephant in the room, how polarizing this redesign was with the release of iOS 18. But you can actually make it way, way better just by taking 30 seconds to set it up. So if we swipe down here all the way, you'll see this button at the bottom that says Customize and Reorder. We just need to tap that, and you'll now get the option to set up what is shown at the bottom of your Photos app, which is the most polarizing part about the redesign. So I like to keep things clean by unchecking everything but pinned collections and media types like so. Then if I get out of that, you can already see how much cleaner it looks just with that change alone. But if I then tap here where it says modify next to my pinned collections, I can then add or remove any collection from this list here. So I'm going to disable everything but screenshots and videos, for example. Then when I'm done and I get out of that, I mean, look how much cleaner my Photos app is now compared to the mess that was before. And then check this out. If I've got a photo or document that I want to draw on, if I draw a shape like this, all I need to do is hold for a second or so afterwards, and it'll make my janky drawing of a shape perfect. And this works for all the basic shapes that you can think of. Oh, and one final trick while we're in the Photos app here, and whilst pretty much everyone knows that you can crop a photo by tapping to edit and then by using the crop tool here, did you know that if we get out of that you can actually just pinch to zoom on any photo and then an option to quickly crop it accordingly will appear? Way more intuitive as far as I'm concerned. All right, before we get to the next trick, just wanted to take a minute to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, ECOVACS, who just launched their newest robot cleaner, the DEEBOT X8 PRO OMNI. And here's what's crazy. I was actually in the market for a new robot vacuum for both my house and my studio. And so I reached out to them and they were great enough to not only send the X8 Pro OMNI my way, but they also agreed to sponsor this video too. And after using it for a few weeks, This thing rocks. It's packed with every feature that you'd want, but there are 3 that I wanted to highlight in particular. Firstly, the new Osmo roller with instant self-washing. I mean, check out the mop before and after I cleaned up this tomato sauce. You wouldn't even know it had cleaned it. It's that good. Secondly, the new True Edge sensors, which let it clean closer to walls and furniture than ever before. And then thirdly, the new AV 3D obstacle avoidance technology, which allows the cleaner to react in real time so it can keep cleaning even with objects in the way. And that's on top of its 18,000 Pascal suction power, its Zero Tangle 2.0, as well as the incredible Omni station itself, which washes, dries, refills, self-empties, and more, all automatically. It really is a huge step forward in home cleaning, so if you want to check it out, use the first link in the description below. All right, from there, we're going to jump into the world of the iPhone's accessibility menu, which is a treasure trove of hidden features, but there are a couple of key ones that I wanted to mention in this video. So if we come into our settings app, then scroll down and tap on accessibility. If we then tap on display and text size and scroll down a bit, you'll see this option that says reduce white point. And with this enabled, it'll lower your phone's brightness further than what the brightness slider natively allows for, which is great for late night scrolling. Now, obviously, coming into this menu every single time is a real pain, so you can either set up a quick settings toggle if you like, or what I prefer doing is coming back, then down to this accessibility shortcut section and selecting the reduce white point option under here. Now I can just triple press my power button and boom, low brightness mode is activated. Then if we disable that and come back, there's also this amazing option called guided access. Once enabled, you can either set this up to trigger after triple pressing your power button as well, or you can also set up a quick settings toggle. But then let's say you want to hand your phone to someone else, perhaps to keep a kid distracted or to a friend to show them a document or something, you can then restrict them to a single app using this guided access feature. You just open the app you want to restrict them to, then activate the feature using your method of choice. And then you can even tap this options button here to enable or disable some additional features. So you can block touch completely if you like. Then you just hit start, set up a passcode, repeat it to lock it in. And there you go. Your phone will be restricted to just that app until you triple press the side button again and enter your passcode. All right, from there, let's run over a few really handy typing related tricks. First up, I'm sure that a lot of you know by now that when you're typing, you can long press your keyboard spacebar to essentially turn it into a trackpad with a movable cursor. But did you know that whilst you're in that mode, that you can then simply tap anywhere else on the keyboard to enter into a selection mode, which therefore allows you to select text way more precisely? Then let's say there's some sort of value and unit in your text, like this one here that says 180 grams. If you then highlight that and then navigate across in this context menu, you'll actually get conversions right there. Oh, and hands up if you often see this undo typing message whenever you're typing something using your phone. I know I do, and quite frankly, I find it annoying. Well, it's actually thanks to a setting found back in our accessibility menu, then under this touch section, and it's this one here called shake to undo. But the great thing is that we can actually toggle it off. And then instead of that silly gesture, we can simply use a 3-finger swipe left to undo, and then a 3-finger swipe right to redo. Much more intuitive than a shake, if you ask me, as long as you remember to use it. Then if we open up Apple's Mail app, if you're looking for an easy way to select multiple emails, well, rather than tapping select, then tapping one by one like this, or even dragging like this, if we get out of that, we can simply swipe with 2 fingers like so, and away we go. Then if you're a big user of the Safari app and you've got a bucket load of tabs open that you're just too lazy to manually close, well, fear not, there's a few tricks we can use to make it way faster. Option 1, long press the tab icon down here, then you can simply tap to close all of your open tabs. Option 2, jump into the tabs view, then long press a tab that you don't want to close, and then you'll see this option that lets you close all other tabs. And then option 3, if you're worried that you're going to lose an important tab by just closing them all, then just swipe over down here and you'll get the option to create a new tab group, allowing you to effectively start from scratch with a clean slate without losing all of your important tabs from that first group. Second to last, and here's the thing about the cameras on iPhones. They may be incredibly reliable, but sometimes the processing after you've tapped the shutter button is a little too much. Well, there is a solution. Instead of tapping the shutter button like you normally would, just swipe it to the left like so. This will start the process of taking a series of burst photos without actually taking more than one image. And the key to this trick is that burst photos don't get that same over-processed treatment like regular photos do. That means you're left with much truer to life, less HDR looking images, which in a lot of scenarios looks a heck of a lot better in and of itself. But if you're someone who likes to edit your photos after the fact, then it'll also give you way more detail to work with. And then last but absolutely not least is a really neat navigation trick that I only just discovered. So let's say you're digging deep into your phone's settings menu. Well, rather than having to swipe separately over and over to get back to a previous page, you can just long press this text up here and you'll see a list of all of the previous pages, and you can just tap the one that you want and you'll be taken instantly there. And it works for any app too. But there you go, 20 hidden tricks that I'm hoping will help you to make the most of your iPhone device. And I've got plenty more where that came from, so drop a like and a comment if you want to see me make more videos like this one. But that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.